Big Brother diversity turning out exactly how I thought it was going to be. The most racist season in Big Brother history. Now, recently on the feeds, we had a conversation between Azza, Derek F., and Xavier discussing Brent and Brent's conversation with Azza, where he mentioned he was the only Italian American in the house. And basically, to paraphrase the conversation, they were laughing at him, mocking him, basically saying he's not even really Italian and saying that's not even a race. He's just white because those jackasses are ignorant of what race is. And you think someone like Azza would know better, because she's a first generation, but obviously she's been completely Americanized, and she's another one of these so-called black liberal buffoons who think race is based on a shared or similar skin color. Because that's what these dumbasses think. They think race is just you're white, you're black, you're brown, and that's race. It's a color. These people are fucking morons. And so, like, that's just part of the racist bullshit that's going on in this on this on this season of Big Brother. I mean, they also discussed about Brent probably getting violent. They're doing all the stereotypical things that prior seasons was accused of doing. And all this does is inform anybody watching that people who claim to be oppressed, they don't want things to get better or equality to happen. No, they want the opportunity to be the oppressor themselves. So when you see people complain about racism and sexism and all these other isms, they want to be in the advantage point of the racism or sexism. So feminists want to be able to be sexist and browbeat men, and these so-called black people that you have in this house want to be able to be racist against the white people in the house. And this is the sort of thing that's being celebrated and praised on Twitter. And again, another funny thing, hypocritical thing that I find to currently be on Twitter is these people are now shipping people and hoping various showmances occur. You have the people who want Derek X and Hannah to be a showmance. But I thought these people hated showmances because I've recognized some of these accounts, and the people that's pairing those two together are the same accounts who always hate showmances. So again, just like the hypocrites who want to be able to be the racist ones, even though they claim they want to defeat racism, the people who say they hate showmances, no, they only dislike the showmances they're not rooting for. Blatant hypocrisy. And the other pairing is Azza and Xavier showmans. And that brings me to my other point. There are people out here itching to call Xavier an Uncle Tom. That same sort of internal bigotry that existed in just last season with Devon calling David in and outside of the house an Uncle Tom. I mean, every time they see Whitney and Xavier on the feeds, cuddling, flirting, or if he's flirting with Alyssa, they're saying, "Oh, he don't like black women." But then whenever Ozza and Xavier are together, they're like, "Oh, here comes the showmans." But he might not like black women. And for instance, this account right here, who has in their Twitter bio, "I'm rooting for everybody black in Derek X." Yeah, so this is another woke bigot. And you can't be too sure. This could be some stupid white liberal kid or old cat lady, playing internet blackface online. But here they have in a tweet saying, "I want an Ozza and Xavier showmance, but he has yet to prove he likes anything other than the snow, so I'm a hold." Again, this is the sort of racist bullshit that gets said. So it's racism happening inside the house, outside the house, against whites and against some of the black players by them insinuating one doesn't like uh, an entire race of female that's of his own so-called race because he's spending time with females that don't look like them in the house. I guess this is what CBS was expecting or asked for, because this is the type of woke bigotry that these mainstream corporations engaged in. But anyway, Xavier is HOH, and Christian won the veto. Brent and Brittany is on the block. And for right now, Brent is set to go home unanimously. And the woke Twitter fan base always got some bigoted shit to say. We'll celebrate this once again. And it was celebrated based on the fact that the 3 evicted are white heterosexual males. So they'll celebrate it for racist, sexist, and phobic reasons. Bravo. This is what the cast of diversity gets you. And the cast isn't really diverse because, again, you can have people who have a different superficial appearance, but their mentality, their social, political, ideological beliefs can be the same. Their upbringing can be similar. And you really don't have a diverse cast. I mean, the ages aren't even diverse. But, the way they classify diversity is a very narrow-minded and superficial way of casting diversity. And, I don't blame the guy from BB19 who cast that season. I don't blame him because he has CBS breathing down his neck. And he probably didn't get to cast this season the way he cast BB19, which was a great cast. But this is Big Brother for you. And the piece of shits in the house hold no candle to the piece of shits outside of the house cheering this racist season on, because we literally have a race-based alliance in the house like never before. Even though I've seen some people try to dare compare it to Cody and Enzo because they were 2 Italian Americans, acknowledging that fact. Not the fact that they were 2 Italians who say, let's align because we are Italian and let's get all the other races out. They didn't say that bullshit. So, again, the desperate false equivalencies to try to cloak their racism. Hey, just be proud about it. You're an open bigot racist. You just want the racism to be in your favor. And the ironic thing is, you're only getting this opportunity to cheer on a race-based alliance because the white people, the white liberals specifically at Viacom CBS, they're allowing it. So even when these fools think they have power, they have none. This is being allowed because it does a lot of other dysfunctional things that a lot of people in the Big Brother community are too fucking retarded to see. But hey, that's what you have to deal with when you're dealing with morons. which is why I've barely been watching the show this season. Now, I just found out that Cody Nixon from Big Brother 19 defended the Cookout Alliance. And some people, as you can see on BB Reddit, are surprised by this. But I, for one, am not surprised. Because conservatives, Republicans like him, aren't really conservative. They're just slow acting liberals. And a lot of them routinely like to try to appease the leftist narratives. And he's making this statement also because he has a business, a coffee business. His wife has a business, and he would like for those businesses not to get canceled because the left wing of society runs media and runs most of industry. So I'm not surprised by this. But what I find comical is these people will still view him as racist and all types of phobics, but at the same time they will compliment him when he says something that they want to hear, or in this case, read. But if I truly felt like someone was a hateful bigot, I would not congratulate them or co-sign them even when they say something I want to hear. But that just goes to show you how insincere these people are when it comes to hustling this identity politics nonsense. And, as you can see in his Instagram post, he stated that they aren't hating white people, despite the fact they have explicitly stated their alliance is based on getting all the black people to the end because they're black people. That's explicitly race-based and is deemed racist in most definitions. And again, he's doing this to protect him and his wife's business, I'm sure. Because believe it or not, Texas is getting injected more and more with left-wing politics. And you can see it's working out because Screen Rant has recently covered it, a mainstream media outlet. So, it worked for him. But it just goes to show you a lot of people on all sides of the spectrum don't stand for a goddamn thing outside of just selling out their own self-proclaimed agenda. Because Cody, by making this statement, will not eliminate people just calling him a bigot and racist and all types of phobes. And also, the people supporting this statement contradicts everything that they have ever said about him negatively. Just one huge circle jerk of insincerity and hypocrisy. But that is the Big Brother so-called community, and that is our current day society, unfortunately.